to you, but Bob's got most of the information on these, so I'll let him go into it. But basically, he's embarking on the project for radio towers, upgrades, construction of towers, and so on. And so they've been doing some research and legwork on different properties and leases and things like that. So I'll let you talk about the number of them. What he's got today is the first two of several to still come in terms of leases, purchases, costs of building, and so on, of new towers for the system as it gets built out over the next couple of years.
The radio system replacement that we started, in the beginning of 2022. Part of that system replacement included building 9 towers throughout the county with the intent of, number one, reducing our reoccurring costs associated with leasing space, with the goal of trying to make the system more sustainable from a fiscal standpoint. And then the added, well, not the added benefit, a parallel is that we're trying to fix coverage gaps countywide. Anywhere where we don't have ideal radio coverage, this is how you fix it. So the last couple of years have been working with property owners, trying to get through the process of negotiating leases and land sale agreements, and we're getting to the point where some of those are not coming to fruition. So today I have the first two. The first is a lease with the Boy Scout camp. This is a no-cost lease for us. The Boy Scout camp is giving us the necessary 100 by 100 foot space up higher on their property, pretty far away from the actual camp itself. It's a 20-year lease, and I'm asking the commissioners execute this agreement.
Motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions regarding the motion?
Is that Camp Mac? Is that what that?
Bashore.
Bashore.
Yep. They've been fantastic to work with, by the way. They're very community oriented. It's great to see.
Jamie, any amplification?
I would just say, I guess, as these come to you, some of them are going to be very straightforward, simple. This one, I believe, is one of those. This is not in any, it's not, in the camp proper where scouts participate or anything. It's, as he said, it's kind of further back. And that'll be the case for some. Others will be in some areas that are going to maybe seek zoning approval, work with the local governments and so on. So it'll be a mixture. I guess some are slam dunk, some are lots of legwork.
Yeah, you're building a tower. You're trying to do it in the least intrusive way possible. But you don't want to sacrifice public safety. So there's a balance, and we're trying to strike that balance. And it's a little bit different depending on the area and the location and how prominent the tower will be. So. And
I think the two priorities here. One, it's an upgrade to the system. We're coming into compliance and we're bringing it up to standards. But secondly is improving coverage, which is what we try to do every time we upgrade or update the radio system. And it's, I don't know if my numbers are on here, but the first 90% of coverage is probably obvious and easy. From there, it gets exponentially more difficult to add 95% coverage, 96, 97. You just, sometimes, for example, the small tower in Anvil, right by the high school's maintenance building, that was not part of our original build out now, 15 years ago or whenever it was, but we found there was just a hole there. And so, the cost of putting up that tower wasn't low, but it filled that gap that the first responders in the Anvil area were experiencing, and it's their lives, it's property, it's other people's lives. So when we get into maybe some of the difficulty of these towers, that's the ultimate goal, is to just keep on adding coverage to add safety and the ability to respond.
Chip away at that last 5% or so.
Yeah.
The system design, as we agreed with the manufacturer in 2022 was a 95% outdoor coverage countywide, with a sliver of exclusion area in Cold Spring Township where it's just all trail.
terrain.
Yeah. The terrain, it would be very expensive to cover that, and there's really no residents, that mostly state or federal lands. So, but the rest of the county is 95% outdoor coverage. Indoor coverage is always going to be dependent on construction. You know, the school, for example, very robust construction is much more difficult to get coverage inside. And we're working with schools and other buildings of that type to have solutions in place to help fix that as well. So,
That's all I have to say.
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved.
the second that I have for you is an agreement of sale. This is for a lot in Schaeferstown. It's approximately 4 acres. It's north of town center on 419. The sale price is $139,000. We've done a study and it meets all of our needs from a coverage standpoint. It also keeps the tower out of the center of town, which is part of that goal of being as the least intrusive location as possible. Yeah.
And this one is a sales agreement for 90 days of due diligence so that we can examine zoning and so on.
Correct.
And down, $1,000 down.
$1,000 down, 90-day, and it also has a appraisal contingency in it where if the land does not appraise to that price, then the agreement. So,
And these are ARPA.
yes, yeah, all the tower construction is ARPA.
All right.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion needed? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So moved.
Thank you very much.
Okay.